All right, all right, all right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome back. You have found Brent Wright and Blair Armstrong. We are Old Guys Still Rock. It's a little bit crazy today because we do have some older guys that rock, but they're not of the guy genre. So we have actually two great ladies out of here from, I believe you guys are in Vancouver, Washington today. So we're super excited about that. With that being said, I'm Blair Armstrong. We are located here in Indian Wells, California. For those of you who don't know, I am a luxury specialist realtor for Coldwell Banker. That is my claim to fame as now. And then Brent Wright, I don't know if he's going to be on my left or my right. Anyway, with that being said, he is a multi-business owner from a body shop to payroll company to, what do I want to call you, a landlord?
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
And today, super excited, longtime friend of mine and Brent's, Caitlin Wilson and Edna, located out of Vancouver, Washington, and they're going to be our topic of conversation today. A lot of things that we've been talking about, with business and coming over, maybe starting over a little bit later in life. But the biggest part of doing all of this is to be healthy. And that's where Caitlin and Edna are going to fill in today. They have a Inlight hyperbaric chambers, so they do a lot of light therapy, a lot of hyperbaric chambers, and they're going to go ahead and explain to us why using this is a great alternative to a lot of the things that we have been indoctrinated that are better. Take a pill here, take a pill there, why this therapy is actually becoming more effective and better, which is actually up Brent's alley because Brent and his wife are about to open up a wellness center. So with that being said, Caitlin and Edna, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for the invite. So I'm Caitlin Wilson, Edna and S right here. And we're celebrating 10 years in business with Inlight Hyperbarics this year. And so it's quite the story. I don't know where you want us to begin, but
start from the beginning, man. Yeah. I know Caitlin. So basically, Brent and I have met Caitlin back when we were involved with BNI in Eugene. And Caitlin was a part of the leadership team, which was in multiple cities and I think states. Were you just in Oregon?
Two states. So we had Greater Oregon, Southwest Washington, and Portland all connected. So yeah, I mean, back in 2000, I believe it was 2008, I was hired by Robin Schuckman, who was the executive director. I worked for BNI on the director team for 5 years and met amazing humans like Blair and Brent. And I just got to learn a lot about business. And it really gave me this foundation to eventually go on and do my own thing, because my passion was always natural wellness, natural healing. And that started when I was 18 because I had mono twice and it led into a compromised immune system. And the doctors couldn't do anything for me. They didn't have any answers. It was basically just go home and heal, pray that you get well. And that's when Edna came into my world. We got really close because I knew her already. I was actually dating her son, and she worked for a naturopathic physician, and she taught me all about like natural remedies and how diet plays a huge role in how your body heals. And so I went down the road of natural healing. I landed in the role of working in BNI. And so that whole scenario wasn't my passion, but I'm so grateful that it gave me the passion, right? And taught me how to be a leader, a business owner, all the fun things. Back in 2004, Edna introduced me to infrared light therapy, and it quickly got me unstuck. So it really helped to boost my immune system, my energy. I got better hormone balancing from it. And just like as a young 20-year-old who was really struggling, to be able to bounce back and start feeling like vibrant and human again, just feeling good. It It was just incredible and so simple. And so I would literally talk to the stranger on the street about light therapy, not knowing how it worked. I didn't care. I just knew it worked. And then slowly and surely I started to learn about it. And in 2013, things were shifting in the industry, and Edna had been doing it professionally already. And she just asked me one day if I'd be interested in, pursuing a career in trying to educate people about the power of light. So she stole me from BNI.
That's awesome. So, Edna, obviously, you've been in this business for a long time. Obviously, we're going back 10 plus years for you. One of the questions that I've had in my head over the last couple of days, knowing that you were coming on here, you have been a pioneer behind this therapy, because I remember Robin and Caitlin bringing stuff when we would have our little retreats up this infrared stuff, and how it's tremendous. It's like, how did you find this? Because now everyone's talking about it. Everyone's like, you can see it on TV everywhere and all this stuff. Obviously, Brent doesn't know this, but how did you stumble upon this and moving forward?
I was a very sick woman. Actually, it was back in 2001. Actually, I was I was referred to a naturopathic physician, and she helped me get well, and I ended up in the long run working for her for 14 years. But she trained me on everything that she did, and I ended up running her office for her while she was adopting some children. And we had gotten some information in the mail about light therapy. This was in 2004. And it just really spoke to me. I, at the time, was continually suffering with migraines. And so I was just always looking for something that was going to help me, because nothing was. I tried everything, chiropractic, acupuncture, diet, you name it, massage. I tried everything that I knew of. So I decided, okay, I'm going to, research this light therapy. I ended up buying a pad. It helped me with the tension from my migraines, but didn't really heal my migraines, but helped a lot of pain issues. I ended up deciding that I was going to sell light systems because nobody knew about it. I wanted to educate people, started using it in the clinic. I was amazed at the results I was getting. So I just built a small little website, and I literally started selling lights clear across the country. So it's almost been 20 years since I was light therapy. That is pioneering.
It is totally. Yeah, I didn't know it was that long. That's awesome.
No, at that time, I mean, people really hadn't heard about it.
It was woo-woo if you had, you know.
People knew about the little box that you would sit on your desk for seasonal affective disorder, but not using it for reducing inflammation and pain, as well as, seasonal affective disorder and hormone balancing and all types of things. But so, I just kept doing that while I worked for the naturopathic physician. I'd use the lights in our practice and selling lights for many, many years. Then I finally decided that I wanted to kind of get out from working under the doctors. So I went back to school and got my aesthetics license because I wanted to learn more about what light therapy does for the skin, because I was seeing a lot of changes as far as wrinkles, sun damage, stuff like that. So got my license, opened a salon, which I kind of felt like a fish out of water. I opened a salon next to the naturopathic office. And so I was still working for her, but still working my own business. And as the industry was changing, I realized that we really needed to get out and do more education or, educating the public about what is this light therapy. So that's when I knew that if I were to go and do educational events in like renting a room in a hotel and setting up chairs to do light therapy on people and then having a presentation, I would need help. Well, Caitlin had always been there for me as far as doing trade shows. She was the one that had the interest. She had the knowledge. She knew how to work the people when we would do trade shows. She had the interest, and I knew she was a hard worker. So I said, let's start a separate business that is all about light therapy education,
Awareness.
And yeah, just getting the awareness out. So we did. And I made her a partner, and 49% right off the bat. And everybody was saying, "You're crazy." Well, and
I know Brett would say that.
Because what you guys are doing with this, the old guys thing, there's something to that. So I didn't go to my aesthetic school. I went to aesthetic school when I was 55. I'm 60 now, and I'm still going strong as far as like just building this. So that was 10 years ago that we became partners and started the whole thing. So we were selling light therapy devices, doing a lot of educational events. Well, we went to a conference back
the train.
I backed the train up. I took on a 220 volt shock when we were moving.
Oh wow!
Plugging in a dryer cord that wasn't attached to the dryer.
First of many injuries for this one over here.
So my migraines got worse, and I had a lot of nerve damage. And I knew about hyperbarics because I had one session in a hyperbaric chamber, and it was the longest I had gone without a migraine. So I knew it was going to be an answer for me. So when I took on this 220 volt shock, we were, trying to figure out, okay, do we buy one? Do we rent one? How am I going to get my healing? Well, we had a conference down in Cancun, and there was a chamber down there that was the first chamber that they had incorporated light therapy inside the chamber. We thought, well, this is the way to go. So we ended up buying the chamber that was on display.
I was not in agreement at the time, just so everyone's aware.
But since I was 51%, I got to say. So we literally carried a chamber back from Cancun, Mexico with us. And I started my treatment. And we said,
and it was a huge leap of faith. It's like we knew Edna needed her healing, but we didn't have the finances.
I mean, this was $2,300 or $23,000.
Oh my God.
And we're barely making it, just starting a brand new business, educating about light therapy. Like, finances were very spontaneous, right? Like unpredictable. And so just for people to get an awareness of like, this was just a huge risk that we took. We never took out a loan. We didn't start with anything.
They let us break it up into 4 payments.
Yeah.
And so we came back and I started my treatment, and really within 2 weeks, I could tell the difference in my head, the pressure in my head. And I continued to do what is my protocol that the doctor gave me was 40 sessions and doing daily doubles. So 2 treatments a day and 5 days a week. And within a month, I felt amazing, and I had no more migraines. And when I talk about my migraines, I was having constant migraines, pressure in my head all the time. It was constant. So life-changing. That was life-changing for me. And we said if I got my healing, we would open a healing center and offer hyperbarics to the public, because there was nothing like that around here. And if I didn't get my healing, then we would sell the chamber. Well, here we are now, 10 years later, and I've not had any migraines for this whole time. And now we have 6 hyperbaric chambers. We have 2 light beds. We have an infrared sauna, shockwave therapy. We're getting a cold plunge. We have a healing pod coming. We have grown into a 4,500 square foot healing center. And we have a great community. We have 7 staff members, which we never thought
we never wanted to hire.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's been quite the journey. I have to say that about into our business, opening our brick and mortar, my husband was diagnosed with stage 4 throat cancer also. Had that challenge. We've had a lot of challenges, after we saved his bacon and I was just coming back to work. Caitlin's boyfriend, which is my youngest son, got in a fatal car accident, and he
survived a fatal car accident. Broke his back. And so I moved to Panama for a while, and like we just kind of went like this. Like in the beginning, she left me for close to a year because of Doug's healing journey. They were in Seattle, and then after that, Nick had his accident, and life's short. And so we knew we needed to kind of see our relationship through. So I moved to Panama and came back about a year and a half after that. And then, yeah, so for the first 4 years, we never really got like full working together consistently. And yeah, so it took some time.
So the fact that we're still open is quite an amazement.
Yeah.
But it really, to me, it's a testament to the therapies that we offer, that people really are looking for options and the power of natural healing with these modalities that we use.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask this question. I know Brent's going to do something real quick too. So I want to go back to what you said to Awesome. First of all, I'm a massive migraine sufferer, so we'll have a lot more conversation after this. It's like, it has been more so as I'm getting older, they're coming more frequently. And definitely pressure headaches. But anyway, with that being said, I want to go back to, you said you had your career kind of laid out, and all of a sudden a massive career change at 53, did you say? 55? 55?
Mm-hmm.
Burning the bridge, right? Going back, and that's kind of what we've talked about in most of our episodes, and we've had a couple of guests over the past, especially last week, we had somebody that was 57 and really they've had a massive career change from becoming a teacher to becoming a coach overseas. But with that being said, how scared were you, and what kept you driving? Like, this is what has God has given me, my purpose to pursue this.
It was a scary jump because I had no idea what I was going into when I went to aesthetic school, because I never even had a facial before. So I was going into a career that had no clue. I was pretty stable in my position at the National Aesthetics office. But I didn't feel like I was moving forward much, as far as doing the things that I really wanted to do and helping the people in the way that I wanted to help them. And here I am going into a schooling, as an esthetician, and everyone else in the class was in their 20s and 30s, and I'm 55. So it was interesting. It was a little scary. Am I going to fit in? Felt like a fish out of water. But I actually ended up loving what I did, and I have a good touch with people, so I was actually good at what I was learning. And it gave me the one-on-one time with them and the license to touch their bodies to do the things that I wanted to. So I really did put myself out there. And in the long run, I'm so grateful that I did what I did. But yeah, it is scary. And if you for me, I feel like if you just stand out in the way that you're different, and if you really have a passion for helping people in a certain way or showing up in a certain way, don't hesitate, And if you just keep putting one foot in front of the other, I mean, I look at what Caitlin and I have built in these 10 years, and it's unbelievable. We pinch ourselves. It's mind-blowing, really.
Yeah.
It's and
there's always a bigger force at play if you just trust.
Yeah.
I mean, and we've learned that, and I say it's easier said than done, but it's leaning into that trust factor, and just know that, like, if it's meant to be, it's going to continue happening for you.
That's
and
awesome.
doors keep opening up.
And neither of us have formal business training per se, but we
and we're not practitioners either.
Yeah, we're not practitioners. So if you stay consistent and just keep your eye on the goal, just move forward and be true and honest to who you are, I think you can do just about anything.
Yeah.
So many good things in that.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Like,
man.
the last 5 minutes is like all the golden nuggets just dropped right into a bucket right there. So So Edna, my question to you is so you're at the spot where typically people would start buying into the status quo, and it's my time to retire, and I'm going to give up, roll over, sit in front of the TV, watch Big Bang Theory, and eat
Right.
bonbons or
He
whatever,
has signed
right?
a
And
contract. There's no time.
yeah. So
So the big
what
joke
keeps you
in our
going?
office, just so that you know, the big joke in our office is I will never retire.
Uh,
I will, she'll get me a rocking chair, put it in the corner, and I will continue to talk to patients all day long.
So that was my question. What drives you to challenge the status quo? Because we talk about that a lot in the last 13 episodes, right? So what drives you individually to challenge your status?
So for me, I feel like when you stop growing and learning and using your brain, it's time to roll over and die. And I don't want to roll over and die. I want to keep myself healthy and as young as possible as the years roll on. And I want to continue to use my brain so that it is healthy and vibrant. Yes, we use all of our tools because we use them for a reason, because we want to keep ourselves healthy and vibrant. And so I'm planning on just counting the years backwards instead of forwards. But really, I feel like, you've got to continue to give to society and have a purpose, and you'll be healthier and happier if you have that purpose.
So what you're saying, if I can summarize for our audience, is if you give, you will receive.
Yes.
And if you continue to give, then you will continue to receive more blessings than you can probably even count.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yep.
So I have something too to it. So this is a big talk to us over the last couple of weeks, actually leading up to this conversation. We've talked about kind of having a younger crowd looking up to a more seasoned for wisdom, right? And here goes Edna, you're more seasoned in life. Here comes this young, vibrant person to come into it and helping you take a business to another level that you probably never expected. How does, obviously, and let's be transparent here, maybe it's been smooth sailing, but obviously I'm guessing there was a lot of not misunderstandings, but maybe some different conversations that made it harder to get through because you have a younger thought process with a more wisdom process because of life experiences. How did you guys work that out? Because I think that's super important. Brent thinks that's super important. We have to encourage the younger generations to go ahead and stay in it and fight and do all these things, but understanding that there may be a disconnect in conversation. How did you guys work through that?
So I'll start and then I'll let Caitlin take over. Caitlin and I have the best partnership ever.
Perfect.
It has not been a challenge at all. We respect each other so much. There's so much love there. We know how to talk through things, and it's not been hard. She respects me for who I am and my age and my wisdom. I respect her for her youth, her work ethics. She's always been there for me. And it's been a beautiful relationship. I mean, there's 30 years between us, but we're partnerships, we're best friends. There's just love and respect there. And she has been able to, if it's beautiful because in our business, we have all ages coming in. So there are certain clients that, I am better at working with, and there's certain clients that she's better at working with. And together we make a beautiful team. And then we also have more mature staff members, and we have younger staff members. And so the whole thing just balances out beautifully. What do you have to add?
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to trust. And, I admire Edna for her experiences, her wisdom, and I'll lean into her when it feels like I need that extra push or encouragement. And I've learned a lot directly, indirectly. And yeah, we don't have challenges. We may have had a couple tantrums over the years between us, me more so because anyway, I get a little frustrated, but not at her, you know, it might just
Right.
be a certain situation. And then we talk about it, you
Yeah.
know, you have to have that communication, doors always open, but the friendship is key. And, yeah, I mean, really
The respect and the, you know, the,
yeah. And so
just the support between us.
Yeah.
So I, you know that partnerships aren't always like this. Partnerships are hard.
Mm-hmm.
So I, you know,
and our personalities are easygoing too, like both of us. And her skill sets, like her strengths, are not my strengths, and so that's where we balance each other out drastically. You know, she's really into like the aesthetics of how things are at Inlight, and she'll go and paint a whole entire room without even telling me, and when she shouldn't be on the ladder, like constantly go go go. And then my creative side is just different. Like I'm more into the social media and creating our branding, our posting, which now I have a lot of help with that, so I can think, you know, think outside of the box and think bigger in other ways. But yeah, we just complement each other.
And I can't make a post if I tried.
Yeah.
I think all of us are on that page. I know that I have a younger agent. Brent has some employees that are younger than him too. And I just the reason why I was asking that question is for the reason of I think that there's a lot of the younger generation that will not go to a more seasoned person in business and try to collaborate together. And actually, if they did it, it would be a lot. Businesses would start to thrive because you're right. There's stuff that obviously Caitlin can after. Brent probably can go ahead and give some testimonies on this too. There's guys that may not know as much as him, but can contribute in different ways. And so instead of like, oh, they don't understand because they're age, or they don't become because of their this age, it clogs everything up. And actually watched. I mean, throw this in there. I watched on the debates last night, whatever reason, just to get information, and they're all picking on the young guy, and I'm like, listen for him for a second because he's got some wisdom that can help everybody out. And that's kind of when I was thinking about how great is this, is that we have a 30-year difference, business partners, a 4951 business partner, which is very rare. Mm-hmm. But you have that. I know Brent encourages that with his business. Hey, I want to groom you to go ahead and become better. And maybe one day, whatever business that may be, take it over. Brent, maybe you can kind of fill us into what are some of the things that you're doing to go ahead and help in this younger generation, and what is that younger generation helping you to become better? And then you guys can kind of fill in wherever you need to fill in.
Yeah. So and you guys might do some of this too, but I empower my people to make decisions. They're not wrong decisions if they need to be adjusted. So we talk about making adjustments. We don't talk about right or wrong, unless we're talking about right or wrong. Whole different discussion. But
right, yeah.
You know, that's from a moral, ethical standpoint. But in application, I want my folks empowered, and I want them to have confidence in their abilities and have self-confidence, and really not struggle with the delivery of their message. So I empower people to find out what your message is, deliver your message, stand on your message, and to really own the process that you're trying to facilitate with clients, coworkers, me even. I give my folks power to call me out if needed. And right. I think that's super important. Do you guys feel that way with your employees?
Absolutely.
100%.
You know, and to go along with that, we also empower our people in their growth. You know, we do a lot with like DISC assessments. We want them to learn who they are and stand in their power for who they are, their personal development. And
giving them the space to do so.
Yeah.
You know, I've worked for amazing humans, and I've also worked for humans that weren't so amazing. So I've learned how not to be as a leader, a business owner. And like Robin, for example, hands down the best mentorship I could have had for 5 years, because of how she taught me to be empowered and encourage my growth. And with our tribe, we call it our tribe, our staff, just giving them the space to make their own decisions and, you know, and own how they feel about situations. And Edna and I are going to learn from it too, because it's like, we don't know everything. We didn't go into business knowing how to run a business. or lead a whole team, and we're all human. And so trying not to put ourselves, on the pedestal, we want to be all working together
Yeah.
collectively. So it's just, yeah, it's lead by example, but it's also just, to empower, take a step back and give them the space. And they have complete space. We have complete trust. We know that if things go sideways or something's happening, we're going to hear about it, or we're going to feel the tension and energy shift. So yeah, being in tune is really important too. But
Yeah. I hope a lot of people that are going to be listening to this goes back to that, because I'm really going to stress that. And Brent and I have been stressing this a lot lately as well. It's for the reason of it's like we have to come together as a community, no matter if it's just in your neighborhood or in your business. But we can't look at, as I said, the separation part has to stop. And going back to even I'm going to throw the BNI into it, is you can get a young guy coming in to looking like, listen, I need BNI or some sort of networking group, whatever you may be involved with, to help me grow my business. But realistically, if you want to go ahead and look at it the really right way, there's guys that have been in business in those type of groups for a long time. There's a ton of wisdom to help you succeed a lot faster. Edna's wisdom has helped Caitlin succeed a lot faster. Caitlin's wisdom has helped Edna succeed a lot faster. Same thing with Brent. Brent has had a lot of wisdom growing up. He learned from the best to be in the body shop world, in the payroll world, in the landlord world. And now he can go ahead and he's empowering all these other people. So it's just what Brett said earlier. It's a give and take, right? I'm going to give you a little bit. I'm going to get a little bit. I'm going to give a little bit. I'm going to get a little bit. So I love that part, and I hope that's what I really stress on this great thing. And I have some questions on some hyperbaric stuff, but I think for the biggest part so far to this date is to really help each other and stop looking at age as a difference and look at age as an enhancement.
Yep.
So that's my soapbox for 2 seconds.
Love it.
So going back to like Brent, I want to go back to jump right back into this stuff. Is obviously you've been in the cold plunge world for 6 months now. Is that about right?
A little over a year.
A little over a year. Mm-hmm. What are some of the differences you've seen? Obviously, Edna and what you guys are starting, Edna and Caitlin about to bring in a cold plunge. What are some of the things that you've seen effectively, because you use it for your whole family every morning, and what made you start a wellness place, and how can you two collaborate, or you three collaborate to enhance and helping us use instead of using alternative stuff that the pharmaceuticals seem to want to shove down our throats?
Yeah, so for me, I have a similar relationship. It's not 30 years difference, but my wife is 17 years younger than me. And so she's, more active in researching things and trying to keep me young and available. I have a 6-year-old who's going to be 7 this weekend, and a 9-year-old. And so my motivations are to have as many summers as I can with them, and quoting Jesse Itzler. So she's trying to keep me young for selfish reasons for her. She's trying to keep me young for selfish reasons for the kids. And I want to stay young, so that way I'm available and not just sitting on the couch watching Big Bang Theory, right? So she was looking into all kinds of different things. She's like, "Are you willing to try this?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So we went and got a tub at Coastal Farm Supply, and we have an ice machine at the house, and we throw a bunch of bags of ice in there and hop in. And what we found for me is it helps with my energy level. It's literally increased my testosterone by measure month to month. And so that way I don't have to take any supplements or anything like that for that. It's using my body to do the things that my body needs to do. Right. So we also let the kids get in on it. They wanted to try it. So that was a good and a bad. So the kids found a lot of resounding results out of it. The biggest thing was their energy level. So we don't let the kids get into the ice bath at night any longer, because they stay up until 3 in the So I get in personally every day at 5:30. My wife gets in typically with me in the afternoons. We let my kids get in if they want, anytime after about lunchtime. And it's made a huge difference on their sleep patterns. It's made a huge difference on their dream state. And so I've taken that, and we've done red light therapy. We have red light therapy at our house. And we have a sauna, a wet sauna. I had a dry sauna before with infrared and all of that. So we've been on the cusp of it for a long time. My wife is into doTERRA oils. We use them exclusively for the kids. My kids had never been on antibiotics until they were 3 or 4 years old. They'd never experienced that, where most babies get antibiotics. And so she's always been into that. Her passion is about allowing your body to heal itself with as many interactions naturally as you can, and not distractions from pharmaceuticals. And so her passion has been to create this wellness center, and my passion is to make my wife happy. So
Good
I'm
for you.
helping to do that one piece at a time. It takes a little bit sometimes, but she got her life coach certificate. She's getting her a bunch of other certificates to do things, health and wellness, physical fitness coach, things like that. And she wanted to start this. We are aligning with a nurse practitioner who's going to come in and do all of our chemicals, all of our testing, all of our hormone therapy, all of those things. She's going to do all those things with us. She has a space.
Nice.
And we're going to actually have a gym. And I know that sounds cliche, but my wife is going to train people who typically don't want to go to a gym because they don't want to deal with the meatheads. They don't want to deal with the hot bodies and all those other whatever phrases you want to call them. People that would normally say, you're supposed to go to a gym, and then they'll like, yeah, I'll get to that. Right. Well, she's going to say, this is part of your plan. Show up here at these dates and times. These people will be on the same plan, things like that. We're going to incorporate massage therapy. We're going to incorporate aesthetics. We're going to incorporate massage chairs, cold plunges. I have a bunch of cold plunges ordered. So from Plunge Pool. And those are coming. By the way, they're on back order big time. I don't know if you guys are aware of that, but my first one won't be here until September 15th. So
Yeah, that's about the same time ours will show up.
in the meantime, we've been doing it the old fashioned way. So, but we're going to have a 6,000 square foot facility that we're opening up on top of office space, and we're going full force at it. And we're going to try to make a huge difference, not in just our health and wellness, but in my employees. So if you're employed by me, you'll have a free pass to use the gym and all of the resources, because I want my people to not just be empowered, but act empowered and utilize all those functionalities to better themselves. I don't want them sick. I don't want their family sick. I don't want all those things. So
it's a way for you to provide that health insurance that actually works for them.
Correct. We already do that. We provide them with doTERRA oils. We provide them with all the vitamins and minerals and supplements. That's our whole break room's full of all that stuff. It's a different mindset. It's a different way of thinking than a lot of people do. We're aligning with BNF Kombucha here in Eugene, and we're going to start offering kombucha to our employees instead of having a soda machine here. Right?
Perfect.
So huge difference in the way people are thinking. So that's what I'm doing. Tell me about what you're doing, and tell me how we can maybe align, or how people can seek you out to get your thoughts and your help.
All that is really exciting that you're doing. It's always inspiring when I meet other people that are, in the same mindset, going down the same road, and, raising the vibration of wellness right now in the world. We need it the most. So,
I would love to have you come up and tour our place and get a little bit of treatment and see what we offer. And if it's something that, it sounds like you've got a lot of space and maybe able to add something similar to what we're doing, but then for us to come down and see you and see how you're doing some things. I think that would be great. It's like there needs to be more places like what both of us are creating.
Yeah. And people ask,
it's so necessary.
People ask us all the time, like, oh, isn't that going to be competition for you? Are you guys worried about, even if it's in the same town as us and someone wants to do hyperbarics or light therapy? I'm always like, no, the more the better, because that's going to expand on the awareness, right? That it's necessary, and people will have more access to.
Do you know Matt McCarl by any chance?
I do. He's a good friend of mine, and I've actually been in his hyperbaric chamber often.
Yeah. Awesome.
We
Yeah,
love
so we're
him.
going to be aligning with him. We're not going to be offering that service because we want to utilize his
That's good.
services, right? And so,
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah.
and anything that he's not offering that he's been thinking about, we're going to be talking with him to maybe try to offer those things either collectively or collaboratively. But yeah, he's a good resource. After my fall and I broke my back, I actually started going and doing hyperbaric chamber, and it's a weird experience. Stress, dig in a little bit. It's an odd deal if you've never done it before, guys, but definitely give it a shot and try it out. Bring a book. I would not suggest bringing earphones,
Yeah.
but I would definitely bring a book and relax or yeah, definitely you could use that mouth tape and put over your eyes so you're in a dark state, but anything you can do to relax in there is probably the best. I don't know what you guys say, but that's how I feel. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, that's the best thing.
Well, doing hyperbaric oxygen, I don't know if we want to talk a little bit about it, but just
Yeah.
the
Let's go.
benefits, how it works. And basically what it is it's a chamber, and you lay inside this chamber and you're in an like a pressurized state. So hyperbarics is taking you to a pressure that's equivalent to below sea level. And you have mild hyperbarics, you have hard shell hyperbarics. And the difference is they allow you to dose different pressures. So in a mild chamber, you are equivalent to about 10 feet below sea level, which is 4 psi. And when you're under that pressure, basically it allows the oxygen that you're breathing in to absorb into the blood plasma and other fluids of your body. So typically when you're breathing in air like we are right now, which is 21% oxygen, the oxygen molecules attached to your red blood cells flow throughout your body, and that's how we stay alive, that's how we heal, and that's how our cells are able to create energy. But if you have constriction in your blood vessels and red blood cells are unable to flow through properly, they're not able to carry oxygen into our tissues, so that's when your body begins to suffer. So if you've had any history of any, type of brain trauma, whether it's mild or severe, or gut issues, heart health issues, your body starts creating inflammation. And so whether it's an injury or a condition, you have heightened inflammation, constriction in your blood vessels, lack of blood flow creates lack of oxygen. So you breathe in that same air in a pressurized state, it flows into the plasma, which is still able to flow through and carry it to your tissues. So that just basically changes the environment within your system, giving your body primal nutrient of oxygen and energy to do what it to do what your body was designed to do, which is heal. So back to just tapping within and knowing that your body is your biggest healer, but how do you give it the right resources? And it's through oxygen and light, in our opinion. So
I think that's great for what both of you said, and both of you kind of hit on a topic. Is there's so much stuff that we see on TV that take this pill, take that pill, whatever, and then all the side effects that come with it. Have any of you seen any bad side effects for doing something that's so natural and actually have our body heal ourselves? Because I feel that there's more conversation of this lately as to that, from stem cells to hyperbaric chambers to cold plunges and doing all these things. And people are having tremendous results from getting better, or maybe even coming off antidepressants, whatever that may be. What are some of the things both of you have seen for not only from cold plunges, but also with the hyperbaric chambers and infrared lights compared to people that may have been on medication for a long time?
Oh, all over the board. So not as far as I don't know of any really negative effects. If somebody's got a lot of healing to do when they start hyperbarics, they may be a little bit more tired because we heal when we sleep, and it's going to tell your body you need to chill out and get some rest.
Oftentimes we didn't get to that state overnight, so you're not going to heal the body overnight, right? So it can take some time.
As far as I'm with you, Brett. As far as the cold plunge, I'm absolutely addicted.
Yeah.
It has changed my world. I do it every morning. That's my time. And it increases my energy. I feel so vibrant afterwards.
It shifted your metabolism as well?
Shifted my metabolism. I've lost weight that has been stuck for a long time. As far as the inflammation goes down. I just feel great. It shifts my whole nervous system. And
maybe you guys can relate to this. It's actually made me to where I'm not cold all the time, which seems intuitively opposite, right? But
absolutely,
I'm on fire. I have to have the AC on at 68 in the office. And I'm just, it's crazy.
It's become a polar bear.
Yeah,
I have to, just to piggyback on that. When I started hyperbaric and light therapy, my circulation changed drastically, and so I wasn't cold all the time just from that. Like as far as even just like cold hands, cold feet. I lived in Panama, so when I came home, I was freezing in the Pacific Northwest in June. But when I got back into my treatment, I just didn't feel that coldness. Then I actually started doing cold showers back in the wintertime. So I haven't done a lot. I've done the cold plunges and baths, but my routine is cold showers. And in the wintertime, I walk outside without a jacket and I wasn't freezing like I typically would. So I relate to that.
Yeah, I hope that, again, back to all of our listeners who are going to either watch this or listen to us on Spotify, is really kind of consider that. We've just become such a society that just put a pill onto it and without looking for different alternatives. And what Brent's offering with his wellness center, what Caitlin and Edna are offering with their wellness centers, it may take a little bit of time to have these things work for you, but it's a more healthy way to do it. And right now, Americans are really hard. We're not the healthiest as we've been to in the past. If you look at something back in their early 20s, 30s, and 40s where people were in good shape and eating well and had all this other stuff, as we've been depleted of a lot of nutrients, so on and so forth. So what Brent's doing with his company, what Caitlin and Edna are doing with their company, is if you are suffering and nothing seems to be work, or you're not feeling like you have enough energy, I would definitely reach out to these two, because what even they said right there, they want to get the word out to help other people. So it's not competing against if someone opens up a shop 3 miles away from Caitlin and Edna, it's like, okay, great. Now we have a bigger outreach. Same thing with Brent. Once he gets his shop open, it's to help people to may have not wanted to go to a gym, or were scared to go to a gym, or whatever that may be. There's enough room at the top for everybody. We've been saying this for weeks. Stop being so compact and really go out and share that stuff. So again, if you guys are looking for something, or you know somebody that's looking for something, I would definitely reach out to these guys. Obviously super trusted individuals with all of us. So that's just awesome. Edna and Caitlin, I'm going to talk to you more about migraines, because I am done taking pills, because it leaves a horrible taste. I have a metallic taste in my mouth for a good week after I go through one, and it's gross. So anyway,
let's get you back to.
Well, I'm not coming back to Oregon, but or Vancouver, but we'll get up there.
Yeah. Well, we can maybe find a location in your area, or another. Just really quick, another big mission for Edna and I is we want to make this a household name, right? Yeah. We want people to be able to be thinking, oh, I need hyperbarics for this, light for this, cold plunge for this, whatever it may be. And we are big advocates in setting people up in their own home too. So everything that we offer in our clinic, people can have at home. And so that's really important to know.
Perfect. Well. I love it. Brent, any final words from you, my friend?
Same as it has been for 13 weeks, buddy.
Yeah.
Make a damn difference, just like Caitlin and Edna are doing. Just make a damn difference. That's all. So good. Caitlin and Edna, thank you so much, man. Yes.
Or ladies, actually, I can't call you man, but thank you so much. I really appreciate you ladies being on here. Such a breath of fresh air, something that we need to, more of it, just some different ideas. I love that there's so many different aspects of this podcast. We talked about health and wellness, which is super important, because we can't thrive without health and wellness. So you want to be the best at your job or best at your sport and different things, you need to have health and wellness. But another thing that really touched base, and Brent and I talked about this, we all talked about this, is a collaboration between young and old. It is what it is. So don't be discouraged about doing that, guys. That's the biggest part of this show is like, don't be afraid if you're more seasoned in life to reach out to someone younger, and then vice versa. This is how we're going to become better. This is how we're going to take control back of our society and not have people dictate to us. It's always like, again, they don't know, or they don't know, or they don't understand because I'm this age, or they don't understand because I'm this age. It's BS at the end of the day. Get over it and start reaching out to people, collaborate with different business owners, collaborate with different age groups, whatever that may be. So that's a big golden nugget for me today, is seeing how you guys has really started from nothing, no business experience really in this field and have used each other's talents to enhance. 4,500 square feet, 7 employees. Are you freaking kidding me? In 10 years? That's awesome. In a category that no one knows really about.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the same thing for Brent. I mean, we can go back and look at his business. I'm supplying all of these naturopathic aids into this stuff. It's like, are you guys listening to what's happening here? Is people are enhancing other people's lives in a different type of way. So stop being scared. Stop listening to what you see on TV and all this other stuff, and reach out to these people for stuff. This podcast has got me jacked up. I'm a little bit, I'm not sorry, but I'm sorry. But I just think it's really cool what you're doing for and helping the world out there. Edna, God bless you. I know the struggles that you've gone through to kind of get to this point and kind of see the fruits of your labor. It's pretty freaking awesome, lady. I just
Thank you so much. Yeah.
I've known it for a while. I just said to going up on retreats and bringing this, those far infrared thing and trying to check it out and how much is advanced. And now I see it on TV and all these different things, and knowing that you were kind of at the cover wagon stage, right?
That's right. Yep.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, ladies. Well, ladies, how can we find you? How can all of our listeners and viewers find you, ladies?
Our website's super easy. It's inlighthyperbarics.com. You can Google us. We're very active on social media. So our Instagram is inlight_hyperbarics. Anywhere else? Yeah. I mean, that's the two main ones. We're in Vancouver, Washington, downtown, right off I-5. Super convenient. So
all right.
Anybody that wants to come and see us can literally come in and take a tour of our place. We're very welcoming. It's
happy to talk to anybody over the phone as well.
Yeah.
I also, on my personal Instagram, it's crazy.kate, CAIT, and I have a link in my bio to schedule a complimentary one-on-one call as well. So I just love to help answer questions anytime someone wants to connect.
No prank phone calls, right?
That would
Such a great video, man. I just love that. All right, Brent, how can we find you, man?
Linktree, Brent Wright. All my links are there. Take a look. All the stuff I'm associated with, all the things I'm promoting, and all the people I support.
Okay. Is that same thing with April's new venture?
For right now, yeah.
Okay.
We'll get that out. We don't have all of that. It's just going to be the Wright Wellness Center. And we're just now going to start cleaning up the space and getting things coming and getting things moving. And one of my other businesses sold, so we're moving out of there and shutting all that down. So
perfect. I love this. Congratulations on that. Guys, again, if you are, first of all, this is our third week of having a guest, so super grateful to have you guys on here. Yep. It's been a tremendous impact, not only for our community, but I'm sure it will be for yours as well. If you are a business owner or you're contributing to society one way or another, old guys, that's Brent and I would love to have you on here and talk about how you're making a change, because it's really up to us at the end of the day. Again, if you want to find me, I'm Blair Armstrong, Team Armstrong Coldwell Banker, inside a beautiful world of Indian Wells, California. We just went through a nice hurricane type of thing. We had some people it's not bad, but it's not good. So anyway, keep a lot of those businesses that are low-lying levels out here in your prayers, because some damage was done with that. But until we see each other again, everyone, I hope that everyone has an amazing, amazing day. As I always say, stay safe, but most of all, God bless until we see each other again. Thank you so much. Brent, talk to you soon, brother. Big day, guys.